let's understand about the basic maths and stats function in Power BI. So these covers our sum, average, minimum, max and divide. So let's go to Power BI in live environment and see how these works. So this is our Power BI environment, and for creating multiple measures it's always advisable to create a separate measure table. For that, let's go and create a new table. So we created here, create a new table, and let's give it a name of measures table. Press OK. Now once we do that, this will get loaded and this will be showing on the right side along with these tables, because this is a blank table which we have created, and you can see that this is a measure table which we have created. Inside that, let's use the sum function and get our return quantity from our return data table. So we click on these measures table, we click on our new measure. Inside that, let it get loaded for a moment, and let's put the return quantity here, and we want to return the quantity. So we are having the sum, and this sum should bring the data from this return table. So we can write return, and inside this return data table we are having the return quantity. We press the close parenthesis, we press enter. Once we do that, you can see return quantity measure has been created on the right. Now we don't need this first column, so we remove that, because that was the blank column while creating that particular table. Once we do that, you can see the symbol of this measures table has been changed to measure, because this table is only having one measure inside it. So the return quantity is shown here. Now let's do one thing. Inside this particular table, let's try to put some I can say details. So let me just remove it first, and now let's add a new table in the matrix form, and inside this metric let's bring our product category. So this is our product category lookup table, and we want to show our category names. So there are two kinds of category, men's wear and women's wear, and let's see what is the total return quantity in those categories. So you can see that 614 products have been returned, and inside men's category highest products have been returned at the moment, as you can see. Also, if we want to see our total quantity sold, so we have previously created this quantity sold measure. So let's bring this quantity sold measure as well here. So we can bring the quantity sold here, and now you can see that quantity sold is showing inside men's wear and the women's wear, and the return quantity as well is showing here. Right now, if we know that we are having one single measure table, so let's put this quantity sold measure inside the measures table only. So we click right, and we want to move it right. So how can we move it? There is one method that we can drag it and we can drop it above here. Let me see why the drag and drop is not functioning. Okay, if the drag and drop is not functioning at the moment, we can go to measures tool and home tab, and inside home tabs you can see that this is right now inside sales data table, and we want to put it inside the measures table. So when we click that, this will get loaded and this will be shown inside this measures table now. So we have seen that this quantity sold is using a function of sum. This return quantity is also using the function of sum. If we want to use a function of calculating our average return quantity, so we can go to measures table again, and let's click on new measure. Inside that, we will be calculating our average return, and for that we will be using the formula of average. So let's click that and write the formula of average, and we want to get it from return table and return quantity here. and if we press enter, you can see that return average return is showing. Now let's put this average return in our I can say visual, and you can see the average return is around 1.01 quantities here. And if we want to specifically know in more detail about these things, so along with the category name we can bring our subcategory here. So we go to product lookup table. Instead of product lookup table, product subcategories table we can use, and the product subcategory key is here and product subcategory name should be also there. Let's see, yeah, so this is the product subcategory name. Let's put it here below the category name, and once we do that, you can see that there has been created these plus symbol which are reflecting that we can drill down inside these categories. So if we click this double drill down, then this will be showing the next level of hierarchy, which means all the subcategories inside these categories. If we press these types of drill down, then this will be showing one level in hierarchy. So if we click on that, you can see inside menswear there are returns happening, and average return is also given for that category entirely. Similarly, if we go to women's wear, you can see the returns are showing for all the categories and subcategories as well. If we click on this arrow, then this will be drilling up entirely, and this arrow, these two double arrows will be showing all the subcategories here, which you can see right now. So let's drill them up together here. Let's go further and try to calculate our average rate of return. So for that we will be going to our measures table again, go to our new measure. Inside that new measure we will be writing it as, wait for a second, have return rate, and this return rate would be in percentage terms, which we will be converting later on. So for return rate we will be using two measures which we already created. First one is our return quantity divided by quantity sold. So we can start using the measure via pressing the highest side bracket. So when we press that, you can see all the measures which we created are showing here. So we want to use our return quantity, and we wait for a second, this gets loaded. Return rate, let's come here again, yeah. So and we divide it with our, I can say, quantity sold, and when we do that and press enter, we will be getting our return rate measure here. And when we click on that, you can see that these numbers are showing for return rate. However, these looks like 0 because we need to do a formatting for that. So we want to show it in the percentage. So I clicked here and we are showing it as a percentage, and let's show this percentage up to 2 decimal points. So let's get it updated up to 2 decimal points. Wait for a moment, and yes, you can see that return rates are given here. Also, if we press these pluses, inside these pluses we can see what are our highest return and lowest returns. So blazers are having 9.85% returns, and the suits are having 9.19% return, and so on. So we can check that as well. Except this divide option, instead of writing it in this mathematical form, we can write it in the formula as well, and this formula is of divide. We can call it as function, and this function is for divide, as I told you. Let's put the numerator first, which you can see already is here, which is return quantity. Then let's put a comma, and the denominator is always here already, which is our quantity sold. And after that there is a third option of alternate results. So if these are not available, and let's suppose the return quantity is 0 and sold quantity is 100, which means there is no return, right? Or if the return quantity is 100 and sold quantity is 0, which cannot be possible, because without selling something you cannot get it returned. So we can write its name as no return, and once we do that, let's click and press our bracket, and let's do an enter, and you will see that nothing has changed because we have just updated the formula. And let's do this double click here, double arrow, and inside this double arrow you can see now all the return rates are given. You can sort these from highest to lowest as I have clicked here, and you can see them. You can also sort them from lowest to highest if I click on them again. So we can see that women's skirts have been a return rate of 5.95%, and highest return rate in our company is for blazers, which is 9.85%. So these are really important insights for the company, and they can work upon the reasons why there are a lot of return rates for blazer and take the corrective actions. So I hope you understood this, and thank you so much for watching.